Welcome, Pinch enthusiasts, lovers of Pinch and all things payments. Thank you all for joining us on our very first Pinch Payday. Pinch Payday is all about showcasing to you an ecosystem of apps that use our Pinch infrastructure or systems to help you get paid and solve more problems in your business. So today I've got three fantastic companies and presenters presenting their products for you. And hopefully through this presentation, you can find some awesome new software that you can add into your software stack that helps you solve different problems. So we have everything from website building through to onboarding features and then e-signatures and sort of contract envelopes. So hopefully a wide variety of things for you to check out today. For those of you watching back from home, this session will be recorded for you, so you will be able to access it, which is really exciting. And hopefully you get a lot of value out of the session. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to intro our very first of our three presenters today. The first presenter up will be Scott from Oncord. Scott's system Oncord is software for building professional websites. It's really, really slick. He said he wanted to keep this sort of little bit of text really short, sharp, and sweet because he'll do the rest of the elaboration on his session. We flipped it through. We then also will have, following that, we will have Corey from Anacha. And then after that, we will have Lee from Onboard Me. So feel free to take it away, Scott. I'm going to pop you up on stream now, and I will kind of guide you on loose timing.
Excellent. Nice to meet you all. So yeah, as Cameron was saying, I'm Scott from Oncord. Basically, Oncord is software for building a really professional website that ranks really well in search. And it's also really easy for you to update and, I guess, take control of your entire sort of digital presence. So I will step into a bit of a product demo because I feel like that shows, 1,000 words. So I'll just pop my screen share open. So basically this is the Oncord software. Imagine that you are running a website. You can log in and see, I guess, all of the analytics that are going on with your website over time. So this blue line here is, people hitting on your website over time. If you do a campaign, like an email marketing campaign, you'll see its impact on site traffic as well as sales as well. Then from there, you get a customer activity feed with, people coming in through Google, visiting the site, reading email messages, buying product. You'll kind of see every touch point that you have. On the left here, the main features of the software are website management. So again, the ability to create a really nice looking website, customer database, marketing tools, and e-commerce. The features that you have are plug and playable. So if you don't want to be doing marketing, you don't have to have that. If you're not selling online, you don't have to have the e-commerce side of things. So I'll step straight into the website side of things. So basically this here is a list of all the pages on your site. Very easy for you to go and create new ones. Maybe you have a new staff member or something like that that you want to add a page for. Just hit new page and it'll appear in this tree. And then if you wanted to edit one, you just simply come in and click the page that you want to edit. And it comes up in a full, what you see is what you get editor. That's very, very easy to manipulate. So we can come in here and go, welcome to Pinch Payday. And if I want to basically make this change live, I can just hit save up the top here and it will immediately publish that to the internet. So yeah, very easy to go and manipulate different, elements and things on your site. It's all fully drag and drop. We have a whole lot of widgets as well that you can basically, just drag and drop functionality into your site. As an example, maybe we'll want to put a YouTube video. We can just drag and drop that in there, edit it, find something on Pinch Payments as an example. And then we can, just drag and manipulate it to however we want. And then again, save that off. And that content will be literally live on the internet. Then from there, we have an area for posts where you might want to go and create, new articles and things like that on your website over time. Built-in analytics, so you can see all of the reporting as to what's going on, what's working, what's not. We've then got a central customer database, and this can integrate with your accounting software. So if you're using like Xero or MYOB or QuickBooks Online, the customers can flow in between the two. And then for anybody, you can open up their profile, see all of their information, and it becomes almost like a marketing CRM tool where, you can come in, add them into certain groups or segments where you might have, electrician clients or like, I know a particular group of people that you service in a particular way. You can add them in groups. And then once you have, I guess, information on people, you can then do marketing. So as an example, maybe you've posted something onto your website, you might want to share it onto social media. So onto your Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn. And then you could also do an email campaign. So maybe you want to send an email campaign that's basically including all of the latest articles that you've made. You can go in and reuse the content that you've already made on your website to then go and make a email campaign. And then, you can send that out to a specific segment of your database. We've then got a e-commerce module as well, where you can basically store, or you can create a catalog of online products. Those products can be sold online through a shopping cart and ordered. And of course, once they're in your shopping cart, they can pay through the Pinch Payments payment gateway. In terms of e-commerce as well, it doesn't always have to be physical products. We can do like custom payment forms that sit on your website where those payments can, again, also be taken through the Pinch gateway. The pricing of the software is basically the standard sort of pricing is $49 a month for website customer database. When you're adding the marketing tools, it adds $50 a month, and e-commerce is $50 a month. That's probably the other thing as well is with the onboarding side of things, you can use AI to, I guess, create an initial design template. You can upload your logo into it and it'll generate some get started designs for you. We can import your existing site onto the platform as well on a quoted basis, and we also work with a lot of web designers. That's probably a bit of a summary. I might open it up if there's any questions or anything like that, or hand it straight over to Cameron. Cheers.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, look, certainly some questions from some people. So Catherine has a great question, which I'll pop on the screen. As well as that, I'd love you, after you answer that question, just to run people through, if you're able to, how they're able to use Pinch as a gateway for their website as well. I'll just pop Catherine's question up on the screen now.
Okay, so yeah, basically, so once you are using Onboard, it's a fully hosted software as a solution package where basically you can build your site on a staging URL to start with, and then once you're ready to go live, you point your domain name to Onboard servers, and we fully host your website on the platform. So it's a replacement of WordPress or anything like that you're currently using. We do have AI features to, I guess, do some initial designs, and it will, create some content for you as well, and you can customize it from there. Or we can do the import process for you as well on a quoted basis.
Yeah, awesome, sweet. Another question here from Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have CSV files, you can import them. We have like a sort of AI matching thing where you can upload your CSV and it will kind of match the columns automatically, and you can pick them off as well. So the CSV can come in and it'll basically import customer data from there.
Yeah, beauty. I'll just quickly drop this off the screen now. Are you able to just circle back and show people how they're able to set up or use Pinch as a gateway on their website?
Yeah, I'm just going 2 seconds. Sorry, I just closed my sharing tab, but yeah.
That's okay. First time using this platform, those things happen for some people. It's all good.
Okay, yeah, so connecting Pinch is very easy. Basically, you come down the bottom, go to settings, go to the commerce configuration. In the payments methods area here, you can basically just connect up your Pinch gateway by adding a new payment method, selecting Pinch as the gateway, and then you copy the merchant ID, secret key, and publishable key within here, and then you can just save that into the payment gateway configuration. and that will basically be live as a payment method for the e-commerce environment, including custom payment forms.
Awesome. Fantastic, Scott. That was excellent. Thank you very much. Sweet. All right. Well, if we don't have any other further questions, happy to open the floor up to our next fantastic software provider, which is Corey from Amateur. So Amateur helps you streamline your business operations using Pinch payments with the Amateur integration. So this enables seamless payment collections and e-signatures without subscription fees. So for any of you who are doing props, proposals, and looking to gather information like that from your clients, fantastic tool for that. I'll throw it over now to Corey if you're ready to rumble.
Yes, I am, mate. Thank you. And yeah, what a pleasure to be on the first Payday webinar for Pinch. Really appreciate the invitation to join here. So my name is Corey. I'm the founder and CEO of Anature. We are e-signatures and identity verification. The best way I like to explain Anature, who we are and what we do, we're like DocuSign, but we're actually good. We have a support team in Australia that you can call and talk to. We have a really unique payment model where we don't have any subscription fees. Our model at Anature is entirely pay as you go. So what that means is you only pay for what you use. In the context of sending documents, we think about sending a contract, an employment agreement, an engagement letter, a tax return. Everything is pay per use. So you only pay for what you use. December, when you close down, you don't use the software, you pay nothing. You're not paying $100 a month, $50 a month for a service that you're not using. So that's what we are at Anature. And the integration with Pinch that we have, I actually have a live demo that we can run through. So I will present my screen and we'll go through that. Add to stream. Perfect. Right, so Anature is entirely cloud-based. Everything is accessible through the browser. We work with all modern browsers, and it's about a system that manages contracts that you send for signing. As I said before, engagement letters, employment contracts, every single business works with employees or contractors. There will be something to sign, so we're really agnostic in the way that we work with pretty much any single industry. I'll go through the process and I'll send myself a engagement letter to sign. And as part of that engagement letter, I'm going to include a payment method, which is how the integration with Pinch works. So at the time of signing, at the time of sending an engagement letter to a client or any document for that matter, you can have them sign and enter a payment method, being a credit card, MasterCard, or a BSV account number. And that creates a pre-authorization on that payment method, automatically creates the payee in Pinch, or will add the source to an existing payee. So it does work with clients that you already have set up in Pinch, and it will work with brand new clients that you're working with for the first time. We'll actually do the creation of that payer in Pinch for you as well. So what we're looking at here is our creation screen. So this is how we send a document out to a client. The first step is to upload a PDF or a Word document. You can add multiple documents here. So if you're sending out a big pack, you might have an engagement letter, an authority to act, any bundle of documents that can be added to what we call an envelope. An envelope is like a package. And I've just seen your comment, Catherine. I'll zoom in. Please let me know if that is a bit more legible or clear for you to see. I think that's about as big as I can go without cutting off the screen. So we've uploaded our document, and the second step is to add our recipients. So a recipient is someone that is receiving the document to sign. We can add one or many. What you're seeing here is our address book feature. So when Anature is connected to other tools such as Xero, MYOB, we'll actually bring in all of your contacts that you've already got in your database. And with a click of a button, you can bring in their email address and optionally a mobile number as well if it's set up in there. So it's not just about one recipient. We can add multiple recipients here. So we've got our document, we've got our person that is receiving the document. Step 3 is where we prepare the documents. And this involves, cool, live demo was always a great idea. Let me start that again, I'm sorry. Excellent. I'm just going to do a refresh. I'm sorry. I knew I should have recorded this in advance. Let's try another method. So this is the prepare screen where you're able to view your document and add fields for everything. So on a document, we add fields, and fields denote where your clients are going to be signing. So in this instance, what we're just going to do is have a name field, a signature, and a date. And a payment method field is what gets enabled when we have the Pinch integration enabled. So we can drop that field next to the signature. And when that document gets sent off, which I'm going to use from a template. So a template is something that we can set up and use recurring. So if you've got a same sort of engagement letter or consistent document that you send over and over again, you can send that in the form of what we call a template. So that will get sent off. And because I'm sending it to myself, I can sign it straight away. When this goes out to a client, the client will receive an email, a branded email from your business, and that email will have a link for them to open the document and sign. They'll just be guided through completing all of the required fields. For the signature, they'll be prompted to select the signature and the payment method field here. So this is where the integration with Pinch comes into play. They can click on that, select what type of payment method they want to enter. For this, we're just going to use a BSPN account number, and we'll enter a fake number there and submit the payment method. When the document is finished, so once they've signed in all the places they need to sign on the document and they've entered a payment method, they'll click Finish Signing, and that over in the Pinch portal will create a payee for you, or it will add that source to an existing payee. So here we can open up the payee Corey, because that's who I've sent the document to, and you can see that that pre-approval has already been added, and it's a bank account ending in 5678 because that was the bank account that I entered there. So now anytime an invoice is raised through Xero, or anytime you want to charge this client, you've got a payment method there to charge. And the benefit of what we're doing is that we're bringing in that payment collection at the time of signing. So you're not sending a document to sign and then a separate email for pre-approval for them to enter the payment method. We're able to capture it in a process they're completing anyway. If there's a point of touch with a client where you're getting them to sign a document, be it an engagement letter or any other sort of contract, they can provide that payment method at that same time in one request. You're not relying on a two-step process. It's all integrated with Anature. That will pretty much sum up that integration.
Fantastic. Thanks, Corey. I think there is a couple of questions for you. I think Catherine wants to know how to possibly, if you've got time to show, like we've still got a good amount of time here to show how to do the identity side in Anature. I think she's quite excited about that. Oh,
yeah, the identity, I would love to take you through one-on-one, because we can tailor it to different businesses and how they're using it. We did a webinar yesterday with the firm on this and talking about the upcoming tranche 2 requirements. So for ID, I'd love to just take you through that independently. I don't think we'll have enough time in the slot to run through it, and there is a fair bit to it that we can run through.
Yeah, that's fine. Feel free, if you want to send me that link, Corey, I can pass that on to Catherine so that she can watch that. Did you record that session yesterday, the webinar?
I will get that session, but I'll also
awesome.
reach out to Catherine directly.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Sounds good. Sweet. All right. Do we have any other questions? Here's one from Aryasfa.
Yeah, per contract. So our pay-as-you-go pricing starts at $1.75 per envelope. So you pay $1.75 and you can send as many documents to as many recipients in the one pack as you want. That $1.75 includes any unlimited reminders as well. So we can set up a reminder schedule where clients that haven't yet signed, you can send them a reminder every day, every 2 days, 3 days, and that's all included in that $1.75 price.
Yeah, awesome. Last one from Lee.
Validated. So when it is a card, the card does get validated. Cameron, you might answer the BSB and account number validation for me.
BSB and account number validation doesn't happen until time of debit at this stage. I think it is a roadmap item of ours to do and potentially extend to things like pre-auth, stuff like that, which would be exciting. But yeah, at this stage, I mean, in the context here as well, like some of these accounts will be showing test data, which will just let you do whatever you want, just for the simplicities of demos. But yeah, that will hopefully be a roadmap item, which will be pretty exciting. Hopefully that answers your question, Lee. Cool. I think that is everything for you, Corey. Thank you very much for presenting. If we do have any more questions that do come up, feel free to pop them in, as we'll have a little bit of time at the end for some extra questions.
Great, thank you.
No worries. Alrighty. So moving on to our last presenter today, we have the lovely Lee Williams, co-founder of OnboardMe. OnboardMe offers professional service firms one platform to manage client engagements, upfront billing, client onboarding, and more. And there is a bunch more. The way that Pinch works with them is it helps empower the platform to actually collect their direct debit and credit card details and be able to use those to process real-time payments or save the payment methods. I'm sure Lee will go into all of those wonderful things now. If you're ready to rock and roll, Lee.
Amazing. Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks for the intro. I see the picture you used is probably not as young as I look now, but thanks for that anyway. Yeah. So OnboardMe was born out of the idea to try and streamline the kind of onboarding workflow. So the onboarding workflow. Oh, thanks, Joe. Yeah. I had a fight with the lawnmower. He won. So yeah, OnboardMe was born out of wanting to own the kind of onboarding workflow, and that workflow for professional services firms can be made up of one or four different things, and that's really around in getting that engagement to your clients. So the services that you're going to offer to them, getting them onboarded. So we integrate into your Xero Practice Manager or your Xero Accounting / Xero Ledger, my Practice Management / GradeSoft. And the idea there is that we want to help you, get those engagements out, beautifully, fully branded experience. And then our integration with Pinch allows you to enable billing, and you can do that billing upfront. You can do it, we're about to release on completion billing, which is going to be a major one. And we allow you, whether you're an existing Pinch customer or a new Pinch customer, you can connect your Pinch account into OnboardMe. You can integrate into if you're Xero Ledger or anything like that. And when you send an engagement and you want payment, we will actually process that payment through the Pinch platform. We will automatically create that invoice for you in Xero, and Pinch will do their magic and automatically reconcile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and let me know when that's up and running. Amazing. So yeah, here we have the OnboardMe dashboard. I think the first thing that a couple of things I'll go through is what you see here is you see the kind of onboarding script, the OnboardMe branding. You can go and set your branding. So when your customers or your prospects see the app, they see a fully branded experience. So you can specify colors, specify your logo alignment, all of that. We try and get you as much of the ability to customize it as you possibly can. Inside of the business settings is where you kind of handle the nuts and bolts. So your business name, your address. We do have industries. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing the accounting and bookkeeping industry. We do have a digital marketing and general kind of thing where we'll hide specific things, like ethical letters is specific to kind of the accounting and bookkeeping space, or primarily the accounting space. But yeah, throughout the app, you can kind of come into your payment settings. You can say, I want to use Pinch. I want to offer both direct debit and credit card. You can specify whether you want to surcharge the transaction fee or not. And then you can also specify the due date. So when you create an invoice or when you set up a pro forma, we will, on the day that that invoice is dated, we will sync that through to Xero. And something that we're going to be releasing very soon is when that due date comes around, if that client has been set up with pre-approval, we'll automatically do that. I know Pinch does that too. So giving you a whole bunch of different options. But yeah, you can pretty much come in here, and the setting up a Pinch account can be done directly through our app. So if you're a new Pinch customer, you can set that up through here. The guys at Pinch will get you verified. If you are an existing Pinch customer, you can just plug your Pinch details in. We have automatic reminders, all of that kind of stuff, kind of standard out of the box. I think what I'll show you guys now is just an engagement. What I'll do today is I'll just show you an engagement to an existing client. The onboarding flow will probably take me past the allotted time that I have, but the idea is that you can do an engagement to a brand new client who doesn't exist, and once they accept the engagement, you can then also do an onboarding. So you're not just getting them to accept your engagement, you're also getting their details like name, surname, email address, bank details, TFN, that kind of thing if you'd like it. I know Corey also does ID verification. So yeah, in the not too distant future, hopefully you'll be able to use Anacha for ID verification. You'll also be able to do ID verification through Stripe in the coming weeks or so. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll create a new engagement, and the system will kind of guide you through it. Do you want to send it to a new client? Do you want to send it to an existing client? So what I'll do is I'll just send it to myself. We do offer you the ability to send it to multiple signatories. So if you're sending it to a company, you may need 2 directors to accept the engagement. We can do onboarding, and we can also send an ethical letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a new engagement for bookkeeping and payroll services. We can specify the expiry date so almost like a quote, this quote's valid for 14 days. That's the expiry date. We can put here what the duration of this engagement is. We can also insert kind of a welcome message to the client. So this allows you to I'll show you when they land on the page. We have an approval process, so you could have an admin person set your engagements up, and you as a manager or a partner just come in and approve them. But we also have a bunch of pre-built templates. So again, I'm in that kind of accounting and bookkeeping mode, but we have a bunch of pre-built templates. Here you can see the services that you're offering, monthly, split into monthly, quarterly, annually. You can kind of drag and drop them at your heart's content. You can do a whole bunch of things, like you can also link services together. So payroll and IAS can actually be included in bookkeeping. So we can make that price like $5,000. We also have the ability for you to quote not just fixed, but you can also quote hourly or a range. So in the idea of an hourly, I can specify my hourly rate and even put in 5 hours, and we'll show that kind of on the engagement. You can, if you don't want to enable billing, you can also just get the client to add payment details in. So here we've got the requirement payment details. I'll flag that as yes, we want them to do that. If you're integrated into XPM, you can deploy XPM jobs, but I'm going to go and I'm going to set up billing. Yes. So based on the services that you had proposed to your clients, we'll go and we'll generate pro formas that you can kind of work through and see how you like. So what I'll do for the purposes of this is I'll just delete the other 2 invoices. We only want that kind of one pro forma. There's all of our services, and we want to say, yes, we want to be billed up front. And we can also say, well, do you want to bill all 100% up front? Do we only want to bill 50%? Do we want to split this bill by percentages? Do we want to make this a recurring bill? So we can set this up to be recurring, monthly, weekly, fortnightly, quarterly, and we will go and we will automatically create that invoice for you inside of Xero. So I'm happy. Yeah, we want to just bill this upfront. Great. Next, there's a bunch of other stuff in here. So if you've got terms and conditions, you can apply your terms and conditions. Next, great, I'm happy. Oh, cool. So we can now preview it before we send it out. We show you kind of a bird's eye view. You can go into kind of an immersive preview mode, which will kind of show you what your client can see. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send this out to show you the full payment experience. So I've gone and I've sent that engagement out. It's landed in my inbox. So the fund company has sent you a new engagement. We can access it. So we do ask the client to just verify their email address when they are accessing it. And then we can now see, great, here's our engagement message. And it's the first thing that the client sees in front of them. Here are all of the services that we had suggested to them. So everything in our app is kind of done through a wizard. You'll see your full kind of branding over here. But what I can do is I can now go next. Here's our terms, and I can't move forward until I've actually read and accept the terms. So when we move on to the next stage, here we have the payments. So here we can see that pro forma that we'd set up is set up to be payable on acceptance. If I click on it, I can kind of drill down into what that is. Because we've enabled surcharging, we can flip between credit card and direct debit because I had those on, and we'll update the calculations. But for all intents and purposes, because I'm an existing client, we can see that I have a bank account on file. So we've gone to Pinch, we've got their pre-approval. What I'll do for this is I'll actually add in a card. I don't know the numbers as well as some other Pinch guys might, but I'll go and grab that out. So there's a card number. And at this point now, we're sending it off to Pinch. So that card is now, inside of Pinch. All of that stuff's done. We can see we have a card on file. Great. I can now move to accepting the engagement. So Lee Williams, I accept this and I'm authorized to do so. I can say accept and pay. And because I have multiple payment methods, the system's actually asking me which one I'd like to pay this one with. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to pay it with credit card, and I'm going to say pay now. So what we're doing in the background is we're creating this invoice for you in Xero. We're taking the credit card that the client has provided, and we're going and taking that payment automatically, and voila, the engagement has been accepted. So now if I come across to Xero and I just refresh it, there is my bill that's just come in for Lee Williams for the 5,500. And if I go into Pinch and look for Lee Williams, come on, hasn't made it to me yet. It will get there in a couple of minutes. What happens when you do a live demo? But that kind of in a nutshell is it. So we've done that. We've taken the payment for you up front, and then you can also from within our app, if you are at the end of a job, let's say, or you have an agreement with your client, you can go to the pro formas area. So here is a bunch of all the previous ones. So I can actually come in here and I can say, I want to go and create this invoice in Xero. We will do this automatically for you on a daily basis. But the idea is actually once this has been created in Xero, is it will unlock the take payment. So because we're fully and kind of tightly integrated into Pinch, you can, and looks like my PC's gone into an absolute death spiral. The idea is that you'll actually be able to go in and so here's an example. And if we had a payment method on file, we could actually go in and take an existing one. So if I just come back here, there we go. So there's Joe. I've used Joe before. He doesn't have a payment method. Well done, Lee. Great start. So here we go. Here's the no. Okay. I clearly broke it a little earlier. Oops. So yes, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like Corey, live demo, always a fun one to do. But that's kind of that's just the one point, right? That's the engagements, getting payments, doing that. We have a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do, like client onboarding, and yeah, we're branching out into other industries. So what you're seeing here is the accounting version, but yeah, we have the ability to kind of switch it up. We'll provide templates for some other industries too. Questions?
Fantastic. Awesome stuff. All right. Let me just drop this off the screen for a moment, but feel free to leave it up. We do have a couple of questions by the looks of it. Here's one from Adam.
So we don't have a native integration, Adam, into FYI, but because we integrate into XPM and FYI are step familial almost, I would say. I wouldn't say built on top of the other. FYI is an amazing platform, but so we don't have a direct integration into FYI currently. It is something that is on our roadmap, but if you do have XPM kind of underneath the hood, when you do stuff into XPM, that will flow through automatically into FYI.
Cool. That's pretty sweet. And I think at this stage, that's the questions. Does anyone else have any other questions for Lee before I kick it open to just wide open questions for the other presenters collectively? I know that there was a bit of discussion about surcharging and the like. Nothing at this stage. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Lee, for showcasing that for us. That concludes our showcases for each of our three software suites. I will now open up the floor to anyone who wants to ask questions. I do have a poll that I am going to run after there's been a little bit of discussion in the chat. You should see that coming up on your screens now if you are attending. For the presenters, this is just a discussion about surcharging and whether you let people know about it during the contract stage. There seemed to be a fair bit of engagement in the chat about that. Otherwise, for anyone else who wants to get some final questions answered from anyone here who has presented, definitely hit us up. I will bring those up on the screen and we'll hopefully get them answered for you. Here's one. I think Catherine had another question for you, Corey, about whether you could connect integrations to when doing from what I understand of this, Catherine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about whether or not during your proposal component in the envelope of Anature, if you could actually connect that immediately to a payment plan. I think the short answer to this, Corey, is not currently.
No. So our roadmap for the integration with Pinch is to first extend it into an actual payment collection. So rather than just a payment pre-authorization, you'll be able to make a charge for $500, and then the payment method used for that charge becomes pre-authorization as well moving forward. We'd need to look at what's then involved to linking that to a payment plan with Pinch. I know Pinch does support that, but we haven't considered that at this time, no.
Cool. Yeah, but I think Catherine, that will sort of service a lot of that from what Corey explains is on the sort of next step roadmaps, is the ability to sort of immediately charge what sounds like, the ability to do a portion of something or an initial deposit, so to speak. So that should facilitate that quite well, which sounds really good. Looks like we got another question here from for you, Corey, from Adam.
Yes, I do recall this. So what we use to match the pre-authorization to your payer in Pinch is the email address. So the email address of the recipient in Anature that you send the contract to, we look for the first payer in Pinch with that email address. So funnily enough, this is the first time we've had this instance come up. In the event that you have multiple payers in Pinch with the same email address, we will need to implement a mechanism for you to select which payer that should go to.
Yeah, should be
So yeah,
pretty
so right now it
straightforward.
just picks the first one.
Yeah, that's right. And so look, workarounds to that, Adam, could be doing some sort of alias component to those email addresses. So, adding a plus and a, +1, +2, +3, just so that they get identified as unique. And then that way Corey's system would be able to match to them a lot easier until such a time that we can find a solution around that, which shouldn't take too long. So hopefully that answers that. All right, Catherine, I imagine Catherine's question is also for you, Corey. One last
Popular
one
today.
Yeah.
That's fine. We can connect the document signing platform with the payment plan to book 6 appointments. That saves a lot of open time of manual generation of invoices. Yes, you're exactly right. So that's the intention with setting up a payment plan, is that if it is a recurring payment, say it's $100 a month, getting that payment plan set up with a payment method captured at the time of engagement, knowing that moving forward for the next 12 months or however long the duration of that engagement is, the invoices and the actual charging for those invoices is taken care of automatically.
Yeah. I mean, I can probably add a little bit of extra onto this, Catherine. This can kind of already be supported. It's not completely packaged inside of Anacha. So what you could do is once you have the pre-approval inside of Pinch, you're actually able to use that and invite your client on their behalf. So you could effectively, have your engagements written in a manner that allow you to do that, right? Or at least alert the client to you doing that. And once you receive the confirmation that the envelope has been signed and activated, you'll have the pre-approval over in Pinch, and you would then be able to immediately go and activate whatever payment plan had been agreed upon for the client. So it's one little extra step, but you can definitely still do it, and the pre-approval will allow you to facilitate that. Cool. All right. Well, look, that pretty much bangs us on time. Thank you, everyone. You all absolutely smashed it. Hopefully, for all of those people who joined us, you got a lot of value out of this. And for anyone watching back home, definitely get in contact with these fantastic software vendors. I've already in the chat linked each of their websites, but what I'll do is I will just do each of those now. We have Onboard. That doesn't come up very nice, does it? We have Anacha. They're all pretty straightforward websites, everyone. Anacha, onboard me, which appears to have disappeared from my listings. Did you remove that, Lee? No. Maybe it didn't come up in the same way. Here we go. I'll just pop it up now. I'll paste it into the old Chatteroo. Bring it up on the screen, and we have Onboard Me. So definitely reach out to the team about these, and hopefully we can help you solve some of those problems in your business to ultimately lead to getting paid. And that's what Payday is going to be about as we go forward, is just showcasing more and more systems and apps that can help you get your invoices paid. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Scott. We'll just sit on for a little bit longer if there's any final questions that we can answer in the chat. But other than that, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Alrighty, just doing a last little spot check. Cool. Alrighty, okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there. There's no more questions coming through. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. The recording will be made available. We'll also be uploading that to our YouTube channel as well, and adding in some description data for these lovely software vendors that have joined us today to showcase their apps. Thank you, everyone, for coming.